Hard work pays off. From rich people who want to exploit you, to not rich people who want to exploit you, to the great philosophers of our time. This refrain has been repeated over and over again. But is it true? Or is it a capitalist plot concocted by the ruling class to keep us subjugated under an unfair economic system? I don't know. But I do have a camera and a willingness to talk reckless on the internet, so let's find out. Successful people are always like, I am where I am because of hard work and the grind and the laxatives I took to reduce shit time so that I could work more hours. And I'm not here to convince anyone to not push the boundaries of what's legal to fulfill their dreams. In fact, I agree that working hard is really important to being successful. But I also believe you gotta have a bit of luck, whether that's benefiting from nepotism, being at the right place at the right time, or uncovering an ancient, surprisingly well-preserved totem with mystical powers. Now, before I go any further, I'm gonna pull a TV salesman move and lay out some definitions. Hard work is putting time and effort into something you want to accomplish. Success is external recognition of your accomplishments, like money or fame. Admittedly, this is a very narrow definition, but more on this later. And luck is anything that can affect your journey to success that is outside your own control. So, in terms of the Transformers movies, success would be Shia LaBeouf getting a presidential medal for defending the Earth. Luck would be his decision to thrust the most powerful object in the universe into a reactor of some kind, the equivalent of throwing a nuke into a washing machine, not having catastrophic consequences. And hard work would be him having really good cardio. Now, I know I'm sounding very salty and hater-like right now. You're probably just thinking, this guy's just preying on the downfall of people like me who actually do work hard and have the LinkedIn recommendations to prove it. But again, I'm not saying that hard work doesn't play a big part in success. I'm saying hard work and the random machinations of the universe play a big part in success. In fact, there are lots of examples throughout history and probably your own life that prove that not everyone who works hard is always successful. I think this false promise that hard work pays off eventually if you work yourself into a fine dust is a toxic, unhealthy, and, pardon my French, poopy one. Let's take me getting to Stanford, for example. Now, it's true I did have to study for many hours in a cramped room full of other Asian kids and divest all my skill points from the social skills tree to the test-taking tree to get into Stanford. But I also needed the SAT to not be that hard when I took it, my teachers to write good recommendations for me, and for me to roll a natural 20 on charisma during my Stanford interview. And even then, maybe the admissions officer would have a weird personal vendetta against guys from Brooklyn because she dated a weird hipster guy from Brooklyn once. Sometimes, you just gotta get lucky. I think working hard is the equivalent of buying lottery tickets. The harder you work, the more lottery tickets you can buy. But just because you have a lot of lottery tickets doesn't mean you're gonna win. You might say, hey introverted madness, stop being such a hater. This mindset is actually good because it encourages people to work hard and chase their dream, which is true, but I think the negatives of this mindset far outweigh the benefits. While at my last job, I was endlessly harassed into trying to get me to work Saturdays, which I actually did for a year. Now, putting aside the fact I'm not a soulless robot who exists only to maximize value and output for a corporation, I enjoy doing things such as watching TV, sleeping, and not working on my Saturdays. I think the argument for working Saturdays, that it would lead our company to be more successful faster, was wrong. I think working yourself too hard leads to burnout, aka hating work, which ultimately hurts your chances of achieving whatever you want to achieve. And from my own experience, I don't think pondering your reason for living on this earth every morning when you wake up to go to work is conducive to productivity. In fact, I don't just think this is scientifically proven by scientists. Also, I don't think there's just some hard work meter that you can fill up to get success. Often, success is a winding path, and just running more miles through the rough, poisonous foliage isn't going to help you get to where you're trying to go faster, and you'll probably just end up getting a rash. Sometimes, you gotta slow down to find a trail, befriend a few creatures of the forest, go on a few side quests, discover the power of friendship, before you can achieve your main objective. After all, as one of the greatest thinkers of our time once said, it's the climb. This notion of chasing success places the final destination as the ultimate goal, when it's really about the climb that gets you there that matters. There comes a point in every video game when I realize I'm killing monsters to get more gold, to get a better sword, to kill more monsters faster, to get more gold faster, to get a better sword faster, to kill more monsters faster. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the sword in the shop. It's about me, a dude with really high two-handed attack, learning the trials and tribulations of life. However, going back to the Saturdays thing, the argument for working Saturdays makes a lot more sense if we subscribe to the idea that hard work always pays off. And that's why it's a toxic doo-doo McPoopy pants idea to have. It encourages you to put everything you have into this because it will pay off. So just don't have a life, just work until you die! As you can tell, I'm very salty about the working on Saturdays thing. The hard work pays off sentiment also often implies that success is external, like money or fame, as I mentioned before. But I don't know if it's a good idea to only define success in ways that are, partially at least, outside your own control. If you're a painter or sculptor, you can't control what other people think about your art. Maybe they'll really like your penis sculpture, but maybe they won't. In fact, many an artist has died thinking that they sucked because they had no external validation of their art. If we define success as only coming from the external, that, like starting a movie trilogy without a plan for the story, is a recipe for disaster. But there's internal success. You can be proud of your improvement or happy that you've created something that you like. And in that case, hard work can definitely pay off for yourself. Again, going back to the college thing, for every kid who gets into Stanford or some other elite institution, there's probably 20 who don't. And this is pretty obvious, but just because those kids didn't get into some arbitrary, overrated college doesn't mean that they're dummy McDummy pants or that their accomplishments aren't valid. I'm sure they did and will continue to do great things in their life. Keep it going. If hard work always leads to success, then if you're not rolling in the dough, then the logical conclusion seems to be that you're not working hard enough, which I think is a pretty toxic mindset. Sometimes the reason you're not seeing your hard work pay off rests in the judgments and opinions of others, which are things you can't control, and we shouldn't interpret these things as failures of our own. I also think the notion is pretty limiting. Hard work means a different thing to everyone, and it means a different thing at different points in our lives. If you're a single parent, you might not be able to work 16-hour days because you're too busy taking care of your little shit. But does that mean you're not working hard? I don't think so. Sometimes people aren't able to work at 100% max capacity all the time. But even if you leave 1% on the table for chilling the F out, I don't think that makes you a lazy sack of shit. Parts of American culture seem so obsessed with work to me, to the point where we forget that the point of work is not to increase our points in life, but to live enjoyable lives. So yeah, I definitely think we should put effort and energy into pursuing our dreams in life. But I don't think it's healthy to have this mentality that hard work always triumphs overall, and that working all the time is the solution. It's just wrong and leads to bad mentalities. After all, it's not about how fast you get there or what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Alright dudes, welcome to the after show. As you can tell, trying out a new video format, so it would be super useful if you guys could leave a comment with what you guys think. Was it good? Was it bad? Is the lighting too weird? I don't know. You guys let me know. I'm a little slut for your feedback. Setting a goal, 10k subscribers by the end of the year. I think we can do it. If you want, feel free to like and subscribe because that would help with the goal of reaching 10k subscribers by, pumping up the metrics so that the algorithm can choose our little video. Alright, yeah, and if you guys have any other topics or ideas that you want me to discuss in this format, I guess this is like a format for me to talk about real shit in life, feel free to leave those in the comments as well. I love you guys so much, and thank you guys for watching. Stay safe, stay sane, peace!